how to deal with bad news. Let's face it. Hi everyone, this is Gilardi. How to deal with bad news. Look, there are two types of bad news. The first one just happened, bam, bad news. The second one is that you feel you have scared that will happen some things, and then maybe happen also. So there are these two type of bad news, which I don't know honestly which it will be the best and which it will be the worst, because it depends by the person, depends by the people who is facing this when arrive the bad news. But the one thing is sure is that everyone in this life will receive a bad news in the life. Of course, also good news. I am not speaking now about positive things. The bad news is negative things. Come on. So the topic today is about bad news, and we have just two things sure in the life. I know no people want to talk about that, but in this video I feel the right to speak. I feel the responsibility to ally certain topic also. We have just two things sure in this life. The first one, that we birth. The second one is that we die. I know, but the things important is that once you receive a bad news, once you receive some things that is really bad, how you are going to handle with this, how you are going to deal with that. Okay, that's very important, because if in your life there will be no change between these two dates that I said you now, when you were born and when people will die, okay? In between these two points, the segment, which is the content, what you are going to do between these 2 points, that's very important. That's very important things, folks. Everyone in this world receive bad news in the life. Everyone. And everyone lose someone which love, okay? Everyone, unfortunately, is like this, okay? And the important thing is that, what about your action? What about your action for that? You're going to depression, you don't want to think about this, you want to avoid the issue, you want okay, don't think it to me will not happen any things like that, for instance, right? But the two segments, what I tell you right now, that is the only true things, is that the only sure things in the life are these 2 points. And the real question mark is not what will happen, if it will happen. The problem is that both of these 2 points will happen. We just don't know when. Since the beginning till the end, we don't know when anything, okay? But what we can know is the content, what you are going to do, who you want to be, what you want to do in this life. That's very important things. And the important things is also that how you are going to handle, how you are going to deal with that. Because if your approach with a bad news is some things that make you depression, let me be honest with you, you didn't understand the life law. The life law is that the life gives to you some things and then it take back. So in this time, what you decide to be, what you want to do, what you want to reach in your life, that's very important things. And as soon as you really understand these 2 points, you are going to do some things. Why? Because in this time you are not you have less afraid, you less care about everything around you, what the system put you in your mind, what you face, what is not going on in your life. You will have the strong power to react in the right mode. And I'm telling you right now, because 1 week ago I faced a very bad news, okay? And I was thinking about this, how I can react, because I was really depression about this. It's normal, okay? I'm not entering in detail, but the thing is that a bad news impact us. Everyone impact. I mean, you should not be sensible or not sensible. Some bad news, everyone has a bad news, it can impact. Okay? So the important point is the reaction. And to be honest, with this bad news, I try always to grow, to grow myself some things, okay? And this time what I grow is, I was thinking to learn what I can take from this bad news, because how I can stand up again, okay? Take out your leg, tack. How you can stand up, right? So, in this time, my approach, it was, I cannot say positive, but it was to react for me, okay, to react for me. And the point is that once I received this bad news, I face with this bad news, and especially when we are speaking about some person that you love close to you, your family and a friend, okay, when you face these things, you feel that these 2 points start to be real, okay, and once these 2 points, which I mentioned before, start to be real, you start to understand better what you should do in this life. Because if you are a dear person that die close to you, it's very important that you realize that in this life these 2 points are important to do some things inside. And trust me that you will not have nothing to lose if you think, right? You will not have nothing to lose. Why? Because at the end you know which it will be the second point. So, what's happened? What it will be the issue? What you will lose if you try to reach your dream in this life? If you say some things to one person what you want to say, you will not have scared anymore to do anything. You understand? Because that's the point. That's the good things in this bad scenario. That's very important things, and think sometime about that. Not only necessarily once happens something bad. Prepare yourself. This is also important, okay? You know what will be some scenario, sometime. Don't be scared. You know, you just start to absorb slow, and then you know that it can be maybe some things. You have the feeling of some things is going bad. So start to prepare yourself. And also, in parallel, start to think about what you want to do in this life. Because, as I tell you, I'm telling you with this video, which no people like to speak about that. Yeah, it's also hard for everyone, sure, to speak about this. What other things we should do? What other things we should do? We start to think about us, start to think about our future. Start to think about today, what I want to do, who I want to be. And this is very important, because also, you imagine there is someone close to you, which can be a father, can be a mother, okay, well, one day probably will disappear, right? And in this case, if you have some dream, don't lose this power, don't lose this dream that you have because you are going in depression. Because I promise you that if really the person that you love, and there is an exchange on it, once happens some bad news, like as what I mentioned right now, underline, you will have your power, plus also the power of one angel. And the power of one angel means that you will have the strong support of God also. And if you want to reach your dream and you have the power of God, who can block you? So just to clarify the concept of today, between these 2 extremes, when someone starts to live and when someone then die, there is this segment again. And every day, if you live with the scare, with this afraid to do some things to make your dream, and look what it will be the difference. And then that's the point. But you have the chance to be someone. You have the chance to arrive some things, to enjoy this life. So the scare, as soon as you understand these 2 points, extreme point, very extreme point, you will be the boss completely of your life. You will completely manage, you will be the owner completely of your life. You will be the boss of your life because you don't have scare, because you know where all people at the end is going, right? That's the truth. It's not the truth, it's the truth. It's the second things true in this life, which we know for sure. So, based on this, who you want to be, what you want to do. You want to live bad news with a drama, like a drama. Then okay, yes, you can do, can up, can understand, but have to be as short as possible because we have some things to create, some things to do still. Just to clarify, there are bad news and bad news, okay? And the one which, there are some bad news that really I cannot find the explanation, okay? The things, I will speak about generic bad news because there are some bad news which really, this is some things maybe God can explain, I cannot explain, okay? But for all the rest, let me provide you for all the rest, the bad news. Try to react. Don't take the depression. Don't be in depression. Don't live as a drama, okay? Because the real drama is to don't live, is to live with afraid, to don't make your dream because otherwise there will be no difference. You know, the second point, we know all people will die in this world, right? So that's what we know. The important things is that if you don't do what you want in this time that we have at your disposal in your life, what will be the difference to stop to live today or 100 years later, right? So try to take every day to create some things. Try to do your best, because once you do your best and you are not living the drama, even in the bad news, except the first 2 minutes for sure, then you recognize the bad news. First start to be prepared. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. It can be, okay, you know, manage. You know this. Can be everything in this world. So be ready about everything. This is very important. You need the time to learn, to assimilate bad news sometimes. But you know more or less what can be the worst case, okay? More or less, I'm telling you. Except some really bad event which happen in the life. I'm not telling you to compensate with the good news. No, this is completely different. Bad news need a separate management. Bad news, even if you prepare in a bad news, sometimes cannot be the same because you probably don't know yourself. It's not so easy things to know himself, not to be to study himself of our mind. So we can prepare, but sometimes there is some things which can change the prevision, what you was thinking about of one bad news. Then when you face, can be really different, no? The reality is sometimes really different than what we can imagine, or can be more, and you prepare very well yourself, and then it will be like as nothing bad news. So, you know, it really depends by the person. But sometimes it's good to prepare yourself. It's good to prepare yourself, especially if you know. Don't be scared. This is very important, because if some things have to happen, will happen. Will happen. If you believe in God or not, will happen. Okay? Doesn't matter about this. I mean, of course, if you have a religion with you, it can help you. Okay? It can help you, but anyway, you can justify how you want, but you don't need to justify. You have to go further in your life. That's the problem. You cannot stop because happens something's bad. Cannot stop your life. Otherwise, the second bad news is that you stop yourself. It will be very big bad news then. And you think all people like you will stop. Will finish everything. Really, it will be the worst bad news in the world. So try to react. Try to think that in this limited time that we have, try to do the best you can. For yourself, for the person you love, for your friend, for your family, for your wife, your husband. Try to do the best you can, whatever it takes.